What is going on, guys? Long time no see. I feel like shit. That might sound a little, what's the word? Congested. But I've been working on getting the shop ready. It's all cleaned out. There's still all this like residue from the glue on the ground. I just kind of gave up on it because it's just so hard to get up. So, yeah. Just been getting set up. Got mostly everything set up. Got this light fixed up here. Got everything moved in. I did make first manifold in the shop last night. I finished it last night, and it came out pretty good. Those of you who follow me on Snapchat and Instagram saw it first, so be sure to check that out. Follow me on Instagram. Add me on Snapchat. I post stuff on there a lot more than I do on YouTube, obviously. My Instagram and my Snapchat is just Hayden J. Wilson. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys this manifold real quick, and then we'll get into what this video is about. So this is, oh man, if this thing will focus on it. This is an Evo 8 stock location tubular manifold. Some up close and personal on it. This is the big runner material. It is 1.5 inches. It's not 1.25 inches. So that manifold should easily be able to make 600-700 horsepower with no problems. So you'll probably run into problems with, depending on what force performance turbo you get, what turbo you have, you're not gonna outflow what that turbo, or what that manifold is capable of flowing, because you're so limited on stock location turbos, basically, and the exhaust housings on them aren't very big. So yeah, I got that up on my Big Cartel store. I did get a Big Cartel store somewhat made. I'll put that link in the description also, and that link is also on my Instagram, so if you want to check that out. Yeah, so this video, I was thinking, I've gotten quite a bit of questions about what's my welding setup. Something really simple and basic, I mean, but people have asked me, so I thought I'd go over my welding setup. So this video is going to be about, if you're already bored, if you want to leave, that's fine. If not, we're going to hang out, talk about some welding stuff, and because this is what I like to do for the most part, and I do this a lot more than I do car stuff on like the RX-7, to be honest. So let's get into it. So first things first, before we get into this, there's a lot of different machines that you can buy, and most of you guys that are watching probably aren't gonna buy something and use it like professionally and use it to make like a steady income on, you know. So I first started, hopefully this echo isn't too bad, but so the first machine I ever bought was an HP Alpha TIG 200. I think it was like $600 to $700, depending on if they're in stock or if they're ready to ship, or if they're on back order. So they're really cheap, $600-700. Comes with a foot pedal, comes with a regulator, I believe, comes with the torch, comes with the ground, etc., etc. Comes with basically everything you need besides a bottle to get started. It even comes with some cups and some tungsten, I believe. If you're gonna order that machine, I don't have that machine anymore, I got rid of it. But if you're gonna order that machine, I would suggest getting a nicer cable, or I guess a nicer torch. This is covered in a liner, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But this is a Superflex torch cable. It's really flexible. I mean, I don't have another one to compare, but if you order it, you'll know what I'm saying. Normally they're pretty stiff. Like I can wrap this one around my wrist pretty easy, and it doesn't feel like I got an anchor tied to my arm So it is nice. This is the TIG torch that, oh man. Dude, if you could just not focus on my face for a second, that'd be great. Could you please stop? There we go, thank you. This is the torch that this Lincoln that I have came with. The one that the AHP comes with isn't too bad, but basically all the consumables that come with that machine are junk. But yeah, so anyways, the HP Alpha TIG, a great machine. For 600 bucks, you can't beat it. I only got rid of it because when I moved out to Colorado, I brought it with me, and when I moved over, I messed up the high frequency start in it. I don't know what happened, if I set it in there too hard or something, but something got loose in it, and so I sent it back, had it warranted. I had to pay like 150 bucks to ship it, like there and back, and it took them 2 weeks. So I just decided to buy this Lincoln Square Wave TIG 200, which is what I have now, and which I'll go over. And also that AHP Alpha TIG is a 110 and 220 machine. I always use it on 110 and it did great. I mean, 110 and like a 20 amp breaker, I think, and I had other stuff plugged into that same outlet, and I never had problems with it tripping unless I was welding aluminum for a very long time. So yeah, anyways, enough of the AHP Alpha TIG, but that is what I started with. And if you are a beginner, I would recommend something cheap like that. The HP is definitely a lot better than some of the other cheaper brands that are out there. So this is the welder I have. It is very small. As you can see, it looks like a lunchbox. It is a Lincoln Electric brand. I believe I paid like $13.50 or $1400 for this welder because it was on sale or they had some promotion for it. Right now, I believe it's about $1500. Doesn't come with this, like I said, but it comes with a really nice foot pedal that the other one did not. The other one came with like a kind of a shitty foot pedal, but it's a super basic machine. This thing has 2 buttons and a switch and this one knob, and that's it. So what is nice about this machine and why it's so entry level is because it's really just so simple. You can't really mess it up. The HP Alpha TIG has a lot of dials and buttons. Well, there's plenty of videos on YouTube that will show you like welding tips and tricks. He goes over all the different settings on the machine you can find. Same with this machine and any machine you have. So we're not gonna get really into settings, but yeah, that's why I like this machine kind of. People ask me, they're like, do you like it? It looks really simple, and you know I do. The only one thing I don't like about it, as you'll see when it comes on, is the fans stay on 24/7. The HP Alpha TIG was like that too, but these ones are really loud compared to that one. So I'll turn it on for you guys real quick. And I do have this wired on 220. This one welds pretty good on 110 on a 20 amp breaker also. But as you can see, you can probably hear the fans. And I actually need to move it. It's just on a paint bucket right now, but I need to move it because over here there's some fans, and when I weld, it blows right on my legs right here and it makes me cold. So, but yeah, so it's real simple. It does have pulse. You can change the pulse per second. You can't change the background current or anything like that. So all that's preset. This little light flickers, show you how many pulses a second it is. It's kind of weird. I don't use that, and that's in DC. So this thing is a stick welder also. I've never done stick welding, but you can stick weld with it. You can go up to 170 amps. Now the AC I use, so that's for aluminum. This has the AC balance, of course, and the AC frequency. So you can change the frequency on it, and it is kind of nice when you're welding cast to change the frequency and be able to change that AC balance. I know Wyatt has like an older machine where he can't do that, and it definitely does help. If you're trying to weld some nasty casts, being able to change that frequency and that balance. So that is one thing. If you're looking at an AC/DC TIG welder and you're gonna spend $1,000 at least, or 600 bucks, make sure you can adjust AC balance. Some of them older like Millers don't have it, but it would be nice to have like a Miller, but I just don't have that. So the Millers are kind of nice, the Dynasties, because the fans only come on when it needs them. This is on all the time, like I said. The only other thing I don't like about this machine is the post flow, which is how long the argon continues to flow out of the torch after you terminate the weld, right? So after you have no arc, it just flowing argon. It's all preset, so it's all based off your amps. Like it's so many seconds for whatever amp range. That's one thing I don't really like about it, because I gotta bump the pedal, and like sometimes it'll arc just for a split second, but it'll leave a little dot where you do it. But there's ways around if you want more post flow, you know, or sometimes some people say that, like say on aluminum, you got it at 125 amps, the post flow is 10 seconds. You don't really need that long of post flow on aluminum, and so technically you could be wasting argon, but it's really not too expensive, so I'm not worried about that. But yeah, it's a nice unit. It gets the job done. It's real easy, real simple, real small, real easy to move around. So in order to back purge, I do have this dual flow regulator. I think this thing was like 120 bucks. You're gonna want that if you're back purging, because this is the side for the torch, or you can do either or, but this is my side for the torch. So I can adjust this separately from my back purge. If you have a Y on it, you're really not sure what's actually going to the torch. So it's kind of nice to be able to adjust this. You can adjust the back purge on it separately from the torch. So, and then obviously you're gonna need a bottle. I'm not gonna really talk about bottles because it just depends on how big of a bottle you want, how much you're gonna use it. But yeah, if you're, because I've had a bunch of people ask me what machine I use, you know, it has nothing to do with the machine you have. It's all about getting your weld time in, practicing, and just repetition. That's all it is. Machine doesn't make a great welder, you know. So, but I mean, if you wanted to start doing fabrication stuff, it'd be really simple. So, like right now, I do have a nice bandsaw. It's still used, but it is nice. I have this belt sander from Harbor Freight. I did get a bigger one. I do have a bench grinder, and I mean, that's basically it. I have an angle grinder, this little toolbox of carts, and yeah. So when I first started, I started out with, I didn't even have a belt sander. I had a chop saw and an angle grinder and my welder, and that was it. And you can easily make a manifold or downpipes or whatever you want with those tools. So slowly I progressed, and I bought this cheap belt sander, which I would not recommend getting this thing. This thing is junk. Spend $100 extra, get the nicer, bigger one from Harbor Freight, unless you can't fit it. And same with this bandsaw. So from some of my other videos that you guys have probably watched, you guys have noticed that I used to have like a little small, like tabletop bandsaw that you had to kind of like, it's basically like a chop saw but bandsaw style. It worked pretty good. The only downside to that thing was it would break blades really easily. So I was constantly replacing the blades. They weren't expensive, it was just annoying. And it's nice because the bandsaw has the hydraulic feed on it, so I can just set the feed and it'll cut by itself. I don't have to watch it cut. And that drives me nuts. It's just wasted time watching something cut. So yeah, if you're trying to fab something and you're wondering what tools you need, you really, angle grinder, chop saw, bandsaw, tabletop bandsaw, whatever, and get to it, you know? Get your welder, start practicing. I do have a variety of cups and etc. Like I have, like I showed you earlier, this is a number 16. Let's see if this will. It's a number 16 GLS Fab TIG cup. It works really good. That's how you get the nice color on the argon. A lot of standard cups I use for aluminum. It's just what these are. Just, I mean, all kinds of stuff. Broken cups. I mean, these are bigger gas lenses, etc. I'm not gonna talk about, oh yeah, of course the heater's coming on. I'm not gonna talk about different welding things or whatnot. If you guys want me to make a welding video, I guess like a tutorial kind of, I could. I just don't really see a point because, like I said, Jody over at Welding Tips and Tricks has already made a bunch of different educational welding videos, and that's how I basically learned, was just watching videos off him and a lot of practice. Let me talk after this heater's done. Before I sign off here, I forgot to mention I will be getting some Honda manifolds put up on my big cartel store. So if you're looking for right now, I'm just probably gonna do top mounts and log manifolds. The log manifolds, like I said in my other video, will fit. There'll be one that fits AC for smaller turbos like the 57 millimeters and whatnot, and there'll be one that fits the bigger, like normal, like GT35 style turbos, like 62s, etc. They'll be different though. They'll fit nice and tight into the block, because a lot of log manifolds now, they like stick out way far, so they're kind of weird. But yeah, so be sure to be on the look if you're looking for a Honda manifold. I'm gonna be doing some B series ones first, maybe some D series ones. I should be getting an H series top mount put on there pretty quick too, so be sure to stay updated on my Big Cartel store. Like I said, if you guys are interested in welding videos, or I don't know, maybe welding tutorials, I guess, or I don't know, whatever, welding questions, I'm gonna try to do my best on this video to answer any welding questions you guys have in the comments, or feel free to follow me on Instagram, message me there, or on Snapchat. I mean, this is probably gonna be a pretty boring video for most of you guys, so unless you weld and do fabrication stuff. Yeah, like I said, really basic stuff that I have. I don't have any fancy tools. You don't need any fancy tools to do, to make manifolds, to do downpipes, to do performance stuff on cars. You don't need fancy stuff. You need some really simple, basic things. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Tell me you love it, hate it. I don't care. I want constructive criticism. That's great. I love that. So, and I love reading you guys' wild ass comments sometimes. So some updates on the RX-7. You know, I just kind of, I don't know, I'm just not really happy with it. They could fix the fuel lines, put a fuel pressure regulator in there, and put the map sensor in, get a boost controller, and go get it tuned. Probably gonna break the rear end, because the rear end feels really bad. There's some things I'm not happy with, and I want to remake and refix and make it look nice and perform better than it does, because I don't think it's that great right now. I want to fix the motor mounts on it. It's got a weird, because I need to fix the pinion angle on it, because it's got a weird vibration. It's like a timed, like pulsing vibration during normal cruising. Like if you give it more speed, you can't feel it as much, or if you let off the gas, you can't feel it. So I'm pretty sure it's related to drive shaft / pinion angle. It could be the rear end, and I need to do the rear end in it. I need to do the motor mounts. I need to fix the fuel lines. I want to fix the wiring on it. I literally want to rewire almost everything on it. Fix some of the coolant lines and the radiator, etc. So I don't really know. I'm just kind of putting it off. I've been trying to focus on the shop. I know you guys want to see videos on it. I just want to do it right. I just want to stop half-assing it and go back and fix it, so I don't have to do it ever again, because it's a pain in the ass to do shit multiple times. So enough rambling, enough talking. I thought I'd upload a video for you guys, just because it has been almost a week again. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Be sure to stay tuned. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and add me on Snapchat. Talk to me, shoot the shit with me, whatever. I normally respond back as long as it's not some weird stuff. So yeah, take it easy guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.